But Ravens trying to make it 2 in a row, trying to get over 500, trying to maintain a realistic chance of getting to the postseason, taking on a New England team that's undefeated on the road, that's trying to clinch a playoff spot after gacking a 21-point lead at home in a game that would have won them. They would have won the division last week. Now they can just clinch a playoff spot. How do the Ravens avoid their 6th home loss? Keys to victory.
All right, number one, Bob, I got run the ball over 170 yards. New England has struggled as of late. Bengals had like 130 yards rushing. The Giants, over 100 yards rushing. Buffalo, over 100 yards rushing. And it's like 2 of the 3 of those teams don't even run the ball very well, and they ran the ball extremely well. Buffalo does run it well. So they don't. We talked about it in the film yesterday. Their guys up front, they don't get off blocks well, and they weren't tackling well. So run the ball over 170 yards and, Buffalo, Josh Allen has a bunch of rushing yards in that game. Lamar's got to. He's got to. He doesn't want to, or maybe, hopefully, Bob, he's just like, saying that only if I need to, that he's just kidding. And
Josh Allen rushed for 48 yards on 11 carries.
Yeah, so, he made some critical runs. Number 2, the secondary's got to have its best game. And why do I say that? Because the secondary can cover them up man to man. They've been sacked. Maye's been sacked 43 times. And a lot of it is because his receivers can't get open. And that's why he holds the ball. So if the secondary can play great and make it where guys aren't separating and running open, that it'll give those guys time to get to the quarterback. Because I think with their offensive line, especially with the tackles, that they're going to be able to get there. I really like, Draymond Jones. Wherever he lines up, I think he's a mismatch. So the secondary needs to play great. Number 3, Lamar uses legs. Every week I talk about it. Every week we don't get it. And every week the offense is inconsistent. So we want the offense consistent? Come on, man. Come on, Lamar. Let's go. And then number 4, one big play on teams. And the reason I put that in there was because Buffalo had some big kickoff returns, like across the 50 type returns. So create a big play on teams. Now, let me just say this. New England had a return too. So, and that could be, stopping them on the 18, 19-yard line, something like that. But there is possibilities. There's, that there is a big return in there waiting for them, in the return game. And then last but not least is pressure Maye. And we talked about that, and that kind of goes with the secondary. And I'm not a big fan of their tackles. Morgan Moses, I like him. 3 years ago, I liked him even better when he was at the Ravens, or if that was 4 years ago. And their left tackle, Vidarian Lowe, he's a backup. Because Will Campbell's out. So I think that they can win some one-on-one battles. Do they need to blitz? I don't know. They did a hell of a job last week, just rushing with 4. Even Joe Burrow, they didn't rush. They didn't rush much or blitz much. So hopefully they don't have to blitz a lot. But if they do, it'll be Kyle Hamilton will be bringing it, or I'm guessing Simpson will be blitzing a lot, Bob, if need be. So those are my keys. If I had one, would be Lamar uses legs. That would, if I could just say one thing, Lamar carry it, run at least 10 times.
You mentioned the pass rush. You're hopefully generating some, and we've discussed this all week long as well here on the show. Drake Maye's been sacked 43 times this year. Mm-hmm. That's a pretty high number for a nimble quarterback. But as you said, Vinny, when we did the film yesterday, he's waiting for receivers to get open, and he takes sacks that, if they were getting separation, may not have been a reality here.
And the other thing in this game, Bob, I mean, do you play a spy? Because he's that type of guy. He's like Herbert and Allen. Not as physical as Allen, but run, athletic like Herbert, where he can run. And he's a bigger guy. So that's gonna be interesting. I mean, because Bob, you said 43. They're 7th in the league, so they get sacked a lot. So there is possibility, and even if it's they're almost there, getting there, but they're making him get rid of the ball quick or throw the ball away. I'm cool with all that, But it'd be better if they got there, to make it 2nd and 17 or type thing. But they're going to take their shots, though. They're going to throw it deep.
Now, we talked about this all week, too. Nolan McGraw get in here. Of course, quick draw McGraw. Not to dismiss it as a nothing topic, but it's enough that we've discussed. Teddy Buchanan's out for the year. Trenton Simpson's coming in. And, Nolan, you've kind of thought that Trent Simpson's a guy. They can run the ball.
Yes.
They can run the ball. This Henderson kid's a stud, and Stevenson's had productive years in the past. So if there's keys, and Vinny's are certainly valid in the keys to the game, but maybe this is one to keep an eye on, how Simpson fills in for Teddy Buchanan, who was second on the team in tackles.
Remains to be seen. Very skeptical. I think that's the best way to put it. Another interesting tidbit from Zach Orr yesterday. Asked a few questions about Trenton Simpson in particular. Gave the answers you would expect. But the one that caught my ear was asked, hey, does this mean he's going to be taken off special teams? And he was, very adamant. No, I went right to Horton. I said, don't take him off special teams. That's where he has a strength as well. We'll figure out a way to have him involved in both. We'll make it work. But that's where he's made his hay this year. Don't detract from one area to help us out over here on defense. He can make it work.
Well, Buchanan did. Buchanan was on the special teams too.
Well, that's how he got hurt.
Yeah. So
and then he got Hummel, who's like, I guess, the backup to Trenton Simpson now.
Well, the thing with Hummel is he's really smart, and he's got instincts where he actually football instincts and stuff. He's quicker thinker than Simpson. He's not the athlete that Simpson, but he's between ears, he's better football player than Simpson is.